Hey gang. Okay, in this video, we're talking about your fight, flight, or freeze response. Do you know which one you are when you get scared or frightened or when you respond to a traumatic event? Do you flight, do you fight, or do you freeze? I'm a freezer. And how I know this is my body tends to like cut off, my brain shuts off, my mouth shuts off. I tend to get really tense and just like in a state of fear, like waiting for something to happen versus the fighting or fighting, which instead of waiting, you jump into action, right? I would love to consider myself a fighter, not gonna lie, because I love to fight. But the truth is when I am in a fearful state or facing a traumatic event, I freeze up. So do you know if you are fight, flight, freeze responder? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the window of tolerance and how it plays a factor and what you can do to expand that so that when you are faced with a fearful or traumatic event, then you have more options, more resources available to you. And I know that you would love to heal that trauma so that you don't have to stay in fight, flight, or freeze. So drop me a line below and I will send you my book, Rebel Rising. It has my #1 most effective healing tool that I use with all my clients to heal past trauma, and it has my story in it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Contessa Akin. I'm the best emotional well-being coach that there is. I've coached close to 1,000 women over the last 15 years to heal their trauma, to calm their nervous system, and to empower them to rise up against the odds being their past. And look, in every video you get from me, you get one actionable item so that you can take back what was taken from you, and that is peace, safety, and trust. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about your window of tolerance and how to expand it. And so let's talk about what is a window of tolerance. Your window of tolerance Huh? I'm looking at the neurobiologist's name. His name is Dan Siegel. He's the one that kind of coined the term neurobiologist, not neuro, that's what he does. Window of tolerance. And it's basically just a term to help you understand where you're at in your nervous system. So we have kind of two extremes when it comes to the nervous system. We have hyper arousal and we have hypo arousal. So we've talked about trauma. I'm going to just go ahead and repeat something here. Trauma, by definition, is just an overwhelming life event, overwhelming your nervous system, sending signals to your brain, the amygdala in your brain. We don't have to get into all that stuff, but basically, adrenaline rushes through your body, and you either go into a hyper or hypo arousal state, or put it another way, you either go into fight, flight, or freeze. All right, hyper arousal is your fight and flight. Get the hell out of here. This can look like being angry all the time, being irritable, hyper vigilant. If you're always on guard, waiting for somebody to hurt you or danger's coming around any corner, right? That's hyper arousal. If you're just kind of always on edge, hyper arousal. Hypo arousal on the other extreme here is in the freeze state, right? I'm like freeze. Kind of described this one to you a little bit earlier, but this can also look like being numbed out, isolating yourself, like just kind of closing off, disassociating, where you feel like you're just not really in the present moment, can't connect. That's what hypo arousal is. So hyper is fight and flight, hypo is freeze. And remember, this is just biology. It's your body way of responding. It doesn't mean anything about you. It's just what was installed in your brain whenever you were being formed as a baby in the uterus. Nothing you can do about that, except you can work with it and gain knowledge around it so that you can work to expand it, right? And so during this hyper arousal and hypo arousal state, you lose the prefrontal cortex function. Prefrontal cortex function is your ability to think. Okay. And so the best way that you can work to expand your window of tolerance is by modulating your nervous system. So what I mean by that is you're going to bring it up and then you calm it down. You bring it up and you calm it down. And there's lots of ways that you can modulate your nervous system and in a healthy way, activate your nervous system and bring it up, and then to calm your nervous system down, right? So activating things like getting up, jumping around, dancing around, moving your body in a fun, exasperated motion, right? That's a great way to get your nervous system up. Think about it as like getting your energy up. Anything that you do that, you're going to also activate your nervous system. And then on the reverse of that, you're going to calm it down immediately afterwards. So you can breathe, you can sit in silence, you can tap, you can give a butterfly hug, lots of different ways there to calm your nervous system down. So your actionable item in this video is to practice activating your nervous system and bringing it up, and then immediately after start to calm it down. And what you'll notice is the first couple of times it may take you a long time to feel calm and to kind of rest. And then as you continue to practice modulating your nervous system, what'll happen is that time frame gets a little bit closer and a little bit closer. Not that we're trying to mesh them or anything, because that doesn't happen, but activate your nervous system and then calm it down. And then when you experience fear or a traumatic event, then you'll have more resources. And what I mean by more resources, you'll have more time to use your thinking part of your brain to activate your senses to get the hell out of it there, versus just letting your biology take over and going into fight, flight, or freeze. All right. Until next time.